All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Got a super important episode today, so you're definitely going to want to stay to the end of this episode because guess what I did this week? I made a very large crypto purchase. So in this episode, guys, I'm going to talk to you what cryptos I bought, give you a little insight on why I bought these cryptos. Plus, guys, I got some of the top crypto and geopolitical news stories of the week, so you're definitely going to want to stay to the end of this episode. As always, guys, before we get started, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, guys. Make your own financial decisions. So let's go ahead. Let's get straight into it, guys. I'm going to tell you what I bought. Let's go look at the charts first. So we got Bitcoin sitting at 30,000. Ethereum absolutely surging over $2,100, up almost 13% on the week. Now, if you're wondering why Ethereum is surging, guys, that's because Ethereum had their Shanghai upgrade. And what's interesting about that is a lot of people were predicting that when this update happened, that the token would actually plummet, because I believe if you stake Ethereum, which I do, it was going to unlock some of the staking rewards, and people were going to be able to sell their Ethereum that was staked. I'm not exactly sure how it works because I haven't sold mine. I'm leaving mine staked for the long term. But, this is really bullish for Ethereum. Now, we're still far below Ethereum's all-time high, which was, almost like a little over $4,000, almost $5,000 maybe. But this is going to lead into what cryptos I purchased, and it's not Ethereum. Now, I do buy $50 of Ethereum and Bitcoin every week automatically, but I made a large purchase this week, and I want to talk to you about that. So what my large purchase was is I bought a lot of Bitcoin, and this is, again, guys, not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go buy Bitcoin. I made this financial decision because, and if you want to know my price, it was around, 30,000, like 400, 500, something around that range. I was hoping for a pullback. But then I start looking at it, guys, it may not pull back. And the main reason why I bought the Bitcoin is that when I saw that BlackRock, Fidelity, and Bank of America had purchased large amounts of MicroStrategy stock. You guys know MicroStrategy, they own a ton of Bitcoin. So I looked at that as the big guys, the smart money. This was their way to get exposure to Bitcoin without buying Bitcoin. Now, just because they bought MicroStrategy stocks, that does not mean anything. Meaning that these institutions can be playing the long game, and they could be, just like MicroStrategy, dollar cost average into Bitcoin. Maybe these big players are doing it too. But when you couple that with the geopolitical uncertainty in the world, with the devaluation of not just the US dollar, but of currencies all over the world, crazy inflation, banks collapsing, and, Bitcoin is, for me, guys, the number one safe haven asset. If there's one thing I could buy right now, it's going to be Bitcoin. And, if it goes up, if it goes back down, guys, to 16,000, I'll buy more. Now, the other coin I bought, let's go back and look at the chart, and I'm going to show you, and I'm sure if you watch this channel, you already know what coin it's going to be. And it's not Cardano. Guys, I have a ton of Cardano. I have a ton of Cardano NFTs. So I'm not really looking. Guys, Cardano's up 18% on a week. Wow. I'm not looking to buy too much Cardano right now because I have so many Cardano NFTs. When we do get into the bull run, and I'll make videos, guys, I'm going to sell some of my Cardano NFTs, and because I think that's where the real money's going to be made if you pick the right NFTs. Super risky. Wow, Dogecoin sitting at 8 cents. Guys, this thing... I haven't been too bullish on Doge, but this thing's going to $1 next bull run. I mean, it got up to like 69, 70 cents last run. So I see Dogecoin getting to $1 easily next bull run, especially I think Elon's got something up his sleeve with it. But this is the coin I bought, guys, Polygon Matic. It's sitting at $1.18 right now, up about 5% on a week. I think I got in at like $1.10. I'm not too concerned about the price point of this one because I think Polygon Matic is going to really surprise people in this next bull cycle. And that's I'm not really going out on a limb. A lot of prominent crypto people are all predicting this. And you guys know a lot about Polygon Matic. It's a layer 2 of Ethereum. So what I'm seeing is, okay, first we saw Bitcoin run, right? What happened next? Then we saw Ethereum run. That's what we're seeing right now. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is that the smart money, the institutional money, it flowed from Bitcoin down into Ethereum, and I think next it's going to flow into alts, and one of those alts is going to be Polygon Matic. Now, also too, that's not the only thing I bought. When I sold my Bitcoin around 25,000. We got in at, I think, 18, 19. We sold at 25. I took some of those profits and I bought Algorand and ICP. So I'm free rolling on those, playing with house money, moon bags, whatever you want to call it, exactly where I want to be. So going into this cycle, guys, again, we're 1 year from the Bitcoin halving. So right now, again, you have time. You have time. If this bull run happens the way we think it's going to happen, you have time to accumulate. You have time to DCA. Don't panic. Don't just, shoot all your shot, in one coin. Just be patient. Be patient. Find good entry points. Buy blue chip projects. And as always, do your own research. So right now, I'm just establishing good entry points into solid projects. Now, when we get into the more, where it's a confirmed, where we know it's a bull run, that's when I'm going to go and take some chances on some micro caps. So so for example, let's say ICP or Algorand, if one of those runs, I'll take those profits and I'll go into those micro caps. But the goal is to roll everything back into Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin has its pullback, which even in a bull run, Bitcoin will have a pullback, jump back in. Make the profits and eventually take a lot of the profits out and put it into cold storage. That's the plan, guys. Plans change quick. Who knows what can happen, guys. We're dealing with so much in crypto right now. But let's get into the news. Next story, guys. So JP Morgan's Diamond and BlackRock Finks warn of higher and larger interest rates. So BlackRock CEO Larry Fink predicts number of total Federal Reserve interest rate increases. And this is what the CEO of BlackRock said. I think we're going to have 2 or 3 more rate increases. The BlackRock CEO said during a phone call with the Coleman Countdown on Friday. The reason why is I believe interest rates need to go higher, especially in the short end, because we have stickier inflation. So this is a CEO of BlackRock saying that the Fed is going to continue to raise interest rates, which should be a no surprise because the Fed has said that their goal is to get inflation down to 2%. The Fed is, hell-bent, on raising interest rates, and the Fed really hasn't given us any indication that it's ever going to stop raising interest rates until we get to that imaginary number of 2% that we're probably never going to get to. Why that's important is because if we get to, which I think we're eventually going to get to a 10% interest rate, as we get to that, we're going to see markets get hammered, and we're going to see, stock market get hammered. You're going to see real estate get hammered. And I think eventually crypto will have a tremendous pullback. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that. And I just bought a bunch of Bitcoin in Matic and a bunch of crypto. And I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if on one of these rate increases, if they do a big one, that, you're going to see the markets pull back considerably. So not to alarm y'all, but hey, this is what the big dogs are saying. But then again, BlackRock's saying that they're buying Bitcoin, so they know about the inflation. So clearly, by them buying MicroStrategy, they came to the same conclusion as me, looking for a hedge against inflation. Now, check out this from CNBC. Warren Buffett on banking crisis fallout. We're not through with bank failures. So Warren Buffett's telling you we're not done with bank failures. BlackRock is telling you the Fed is telling you they're going to continue to raise interest rates if they don't get inflation under control. You guys have to understand that the banking collapses and the devaluation and inflation is from the interest rates getting rising so quick. So the Fed is really at a battle, and it's a battle that a battle with inflation that they're just not going to win. And that's why we Bitcoin, guys. That's why we're in Bitcoin. That's why we look for an alternative, a currency that the Fed cannot destroy. And they're going to try. Warren Buffett, check out this story. Warren Buffett calls Bitcoin a gambling token, but doesn't blame people for wanting to play the roulette wheel. So, I was reading an article about Warren Buffett, and he talked about he missed out on a lot of big tech stocks, one being Amazon, and he talked about how big of a loss that was, how, just showing that even the best investors make mistakes. And, Warren Buffett went on to explain that he doesn't invest in technology that he doesn't understand. I think at this point, especially if you watch this channel, you're smart. You realize that somebody like Warren Buffett truly doesn't understand this technology. And if they do understand this technology, they have an evil intent for going against it, because the way that they come out, and guys, I'm not going to speak on stuff that I'm not educated on, but the way that these elites come out and attack this technology when they seriously have no fundamental base knowledge of how anything works, yet they continue the same rhetoric of attacking it. But why that's important is because if you look at when these articles came out, when, anytime Warren Buffett said something negative about crypto, about Bitcoin, if you would have just bought Bitcoin when he said all of this, you'd be in the green right now. Guys, Bitcoin was $16,000 not too long ago. Absolutely incredible. All right, next story. We talked about this last episode. Hong Kong's virtual bank offered crypto conversion services, but check out this quote from the article. ZA Bank, Hong Kong's biggest virtual-only lender, intends to expand its business into the region's growing digital asset sector. The banking platform will offer crypto to fiat conversions and account services as the Chinese financial center is seeking to embrace the industry. Wow. So how many times? China's banning crypto. Well, the world is becoming multipolar, guys. We're not becoming, the age of the United States dominance. Other nations are getting away from that. They're seeking alternative investments. They're seeking alternative currencies to protect their own country, to protect against inflation, to become an economic superpower, whatever the reason is. And they're turning to digital assets. So please, if you're watching this, guys, I don't know who you can talk to. Talk to your elected officials, state representatives, councilmen, whoever, your governor, your mayor, whoever you can talk to, and tell them to at least educate them on this technology, because we're falling behind, and the countries that embrace this technology, whether it's China, Russia, India, Dubai, they're going to become the economic superpowers, and the countries that have fiat currencies that aren't backed by anything, they're going to collapse. Just like every empire previous to this that had any type of currency that wasn't backed by anything, they collapse. And I don't want to see that. Guys. I want to see America lead the way in this technology. Yahoo Finance, Bitcoin is the boring old grandpa right now compared to Ether, Dexterity Capital Manager partner. So what do you guys think of that? Because, you see back and forth. You see people saying that Bitcoin is it. It's the only thing. Bitcoin Maxi is the only thing they want to invest in. You see people saying Ethereum is going to be the new world currency. You're seeing people saying Ethereum is going to be the next AOL, that Ethereum is just going to go away because it's old, outdated technology and there's better layer ones. But I, on the other hand, I have a lot of concerns about Ethereum. But what my gut is telling me, that Ethereum is kind of like the chosen one. If you notice, you don't really see it getting attacked the way these other coins, you don't really see the SEC going after Ethereum, which, kind of indicates to me probably something a little more sinister behind Ethereum, meaning that I don't think everybody that's involved in Ethereum is necessarily good guys. And I think that they have some ill will for this technology and the way they want to use Ethereum. And I don't know. I don't know, but I don't, and it's funny the way the article's worded that Bitcoin is a grandpa. Well, I like a slow, steady investment. I like that Bitcoin can't do all this stuff. I like that, Bitcoin has essentially one use case, a store value. I don't necessarily want to see a world where Bitcoin is tradable. I think there's better coins to use as currencies. I like Bitcoin as being what it is, a digital gold. That's the number one thing, a store of value that's protected by the most secure network in the history of mankind. That's all we need it to be. I don't need Bitcoin NFTs. I don't need Bitcoin to do all this crazy stuff. All right, next story. Man gets prison time after feds discover $3.4 billion in stolen Bitcoin hidden inside a Cheetos popcorn tin and underground safe. Guys, what? A man convicted of stealing around 50,000 Bitcoin was sentenced Friday to a year in prison. At the end, the Bitcoin seized was worth over $3.4 billion. Prosecutors said the cryptocurrency was stolen from the Silk Road dark web marketplace. All right, so if you don't know what Silk Road is, Silk Road was an illegal dark web marketplace that was used by criminals. You could sell drugs. You could buy and sell a lot of different things on there. I've never personally been on it, but Bitcoin was the currency to use because of the anonymous factor that Bitcoin could use. So people would buy these illegal services on the Silk Road. Now the feds did bust up Silk Road and take it down. They arrested a bunch of people. They seized all the Bitcoin. But what's interesting is people that used Silk Road, they had no knowledge of Bitcoin, and they just knew they had to get it some type of way and to buy whatever they were buying on there. And what happened is when they, a lot of people, say they needed to buy something on there and they needed Bitcoin. At the time, Bitcoin was super cheap. A lot of times they had Bitcoin left over, and these people became like millionaires overnight. They're like, whoa, I have a wallet with Bitcoin's $60,000. I have an old wallet with a ton of Bitcoin on it from when I was on Silk Road. So incredible story, guys. Incredible. You're going to see more stuff like this because so much Bitcoin. That gets me to my next story. Check this out. The illiquid supply of Bitcoin is 78%. And with the illiquid supply, the highly liquid being 16% and the liquid supply 6%, the illiquid supply of Bitcoin, what that means is Bitcoin that's either locked up in cold storage, meaning that it's taken off exchange, it's put in a safe somewhere like gold, and it's not transacted on an exchange. I think illiquid supply also attributes to the amount of Bitcoin like the one that was found in a Cheeto can in the last story that's just hidden somewhere. In some cases, it's lost forever. We see a lot of stories of people losing their hard drive or their keys with their Bitcoin on it, and it's in dumps somewhere. When that Bitcoin's gone, guys, it's a loss forever. So think about that. You have a fixed supply of this asset. You have a fixed supply, 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. 18 million have already been mined. So we still got to mine a couple more. It's going to take like 100 years to get that Bitcoin. But the Bitcoin that is gone, that people lost the keys for whatever reason, that Bitcoin is lost forever. So imagine an asset with a fixed supply that's going to become even rarer as just attrition happens. People just lose their keys. It's just going to be crazy to see it, guys. So that's another reason why I bought so much Bitcoin recently, is because when I seen these illiquid supply numbers and I see what's going on in the world, I just knew. I thought that now was a good time. And guys, if I'm wrong and it pulls back, well, guess what? I'll just buy more. I'll DCA like Michael Saylor. Check out this story, guys. And this is something we talked about a while back, but Hillary Clinton cautions that Bitcoin could potentially undermine the role of the dollar and destabilize the country. Clinton warned that the rise of cryptocurrencies could weaken the role of the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency, which could have a destabilizing effect on the country. She added that the mining and trading of cryptocurrencies could be seen as an exciting and exotic endeavor, but it also could undermine the stability of smaller countries and potentially larger ones. Guys, Hillary Clinton, do you think she really cares about the U.S. dollar, about undermining it? Because it's not cryptocurrencies that are undermining the dollar. It's the Fed's policy. It's the endless money printing. It's the money not being backed by anything. It's the endless wars. It's the invading countries around the world, invading people to spread democracy. That is what's undermining the U.S. dollar. Investors are losing faith in the U.S. dollar. It's not that they're gaining faith in crypto. They're having to move. Guys, we want the U.S. dollar to be the world reserve currency. We just want these monsters to stop destroying our way of life, guys. Look at how much money, look at home prices, from 20, 30 years ago. Look up the cost of milk from 20, 30 years ago. Guys, the dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power since its inception. This was well before any cryptocurrencies ever even existed. So Hillary Clinton is not only lying, she's evil at this point, guys. I have zero respect for Hillary Clinton, and she couldn't even steal an election. Let's be honest. You ran against the orange man and you lost. That's how unpopular and how disconnected you are from the American people. All right, next story. Tesla selling Bitcoin last year turned out to be a $500 million mistake. So you guys remember, Tesla bought a bunch of Bitcoin, a publicly traded company, added a ton of Bitcoin to its balance sheet. I made numerous videos on it. Then Tesla sold its Bitcoin, And the reason why they sold its Bitcoin was they cited environmental reasons, which was all BS. And then, Tesla, so they sold 75% of their Bitcoin. They still hold 25%. But had they held that Bitcoin, they'd be up 500 million more. So what happens next with Tesla now that Bitcoin has rose so much? Will they sell that remaining 25%? Highly doubt it. Will Tesla add more Bitcoin to its balance sheet? I do not know if Tesla will. I would assume at some point they will, especially if we see a pullback. But I think the one we need to watch, the companies we need to watch for adding Bitcoin to its balance sheet, I think would be Twitter. Elon Musk being the same owner. He's pro-crypto. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Twitter add Bitcoin to its balance sheet. I would not be surprised to see Apple add Bitcoin to its balance sheet. And also, too, guys, the other ones, I'm not going to say specific refineries, but any of these publicly traded oil refineries, I would not be surprised to see them add Bitcoin to its balance sheet. So if this happens, that's my prediction. It's just a guess, but I think it's going to happen. It's going to blow off the top of Bitcoin if that happens. Any of that happens. Yahoo Finance, guys. Trump earned up to $1 million from his NFT sale. So you guys know we've covered the Trump NFT a lot. I did not buy it. A lot of you told me to buy it. A lot of you did buy it. A lot of you made a ton of money on it. I didn't buy it, but I think what this is setting the stage for is, one, perhaps some of you saying maybe Trump's pro-crypto now, but what I have a problem with is I'm not sure Trump really fully understands that an NFT is crypto, if that makes sense. I don't think he really fully understands the technology. I don't think he fully understands that, his NFT is built on Ethereum. I don't think he understands that. I don't want Trump to be our president. I don't want Joe Biden to be our president. I think we need a quote-unquote drain the swamp. I think we need a new administration. And frankly, to be frank, this is probably my most controversial political opinion. I don't think we should be ruled by 80-year-olds. I don't think that anybody over 80 years old should be making policy that dictates the rest of the world, because frankly, they're not going to be here for it. So I'm not saying that an 80-year-old is incompetent, but I'm saying that I think we need a new type of leadership. I think we need some real forward-thinking people. I think we just need to drain the swamp. That's it. Get rid of the deep state. I think we need to, all these Clintons, Bush, Trump, all these names, they just got to go. Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. We got to get rid of all of them, guys. Got to get rid of all, because they're the financial elite. They're the elite. They're not worried about the middle class. They hate the middle class. They're worried about the 0.00001%. They're not even worried about the 1%. They're worried about the 0.00001%. Anyway, so Trump NFT, and we'll keep an eye out if any other big politicians or any big, influential people launch NFTs. Maybe we'll get in the next one. All right, Financial Times. Brazil's Lula calls for end to the dollar trade dominance. Leftist president lends his voice to Beijing's efforts to boost the renminbi. I believe that's actually the Chinese dollar, the renminbi. Role in global commerce. So Brazil is siding with China and not with the U.S. dollar. Another example of Brazil is one of the largest economies in the world, ditching the U.S. dollar. Why this is concerning, guys, this is an act of war. So when you see countries ditch the dollar, it's 100% an act of war. How will the United States respond? Buckle up. I hope you guys are prepared, because if you follow this channel, I've told you a lot of this was coming. I predicted a lot of this, and I've been preparing for a lot of this, but troubling times, guys. 100% troubling times. Last story, guys. Supreme Court allows $6 billion student loan debt settlement. So if you guys think, and guys, $6 billion is really nothing in the grand scheme of Fed crazy money printing. They'll print way more to this to fund their endless wars. But this student loan debt settlement, this is just a bigger issue, and it's really going to show that inflation's not going away, because our Fed hasn't shown any type of financial responsibility. They have one move, and that's just to print money. They run into a problem, print money, and just further devaluing our currency. That's why these other countries are getting off of it. They're tired of this United States policy of printing money, because if we're devaluing our currency, we're destroying theirs. Anyway, guys, made this far in the video. Drop me a 100 emoji in a comment. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great weekend. I'm out. Peace.